My name is Zach James. I'm here with John Noel with Noel Laboratories.
Hello, everyone.
We're excited that you've joined us today. We're excited to be talking of this topic, and the topic we are discussing are impressions of the modern age. First and foremost, to give context for who I am, I've worked in the dental industry for quite a few years, mostly focused within the CAD/CAM digital impressioning offering, equipment sales and equipment support, and most specifically training on digital impressions. My time here with Noel Lab has been fantastic, and we're excited to share with you what we can do from our perspective on helping with digital impressions in your office. The history of Noel Lab goes back quite some time, and what I'd like to do is turn the time over to John to share with you where we come from.
Yes, my name is John Noel, and I own and operate Noel Laboratories Incorporated. And my dental technician career started in 1969 when I was involved with an apprenticeship in the Frankfurt, Germany area. I completed that apprenticeship in 1973, at which time I returned here back to the United States. I freelanced till 1979. In 1979, I opened up Noel Laboratories, and I've been a dental technician since. I've prepared thousands of restorations, mostly in the analog fashion, but now the digital age is here, and we've adopted the digital technology. As for myself, I've been around digital technologies for 35 years. I have experience in 3D medical imaging software. I have experience in rapid prototyping or printing since 1989. And I am so very happy that the confluence of all these technologies have come together to enhance dental restoration manufacturing. Having said that, we move forward.
Thank you, John. We're passionate about what we do. We're passionate about impressions, and why we're passionate about impressions is that really dictates how we can be successful together. When we consider when was the first analog or conventional impression taken, let's think about that. Can you think back when that might have been? I'll help you out. The 18th century, back in the 1700s, the first impression was actually taken using beeswax, and that started the whole modern phase of dentistry as we see it today. It's old technology, certainly. It's old technology, a conventional impression, but it's very important. It's critical to our success. In fact, it can be argued that nothing else in dentistry has as much impact as that impression. The problem, the challenge that we see is that with impressions come error, with conventional impressions. Unfortunately, the evidence suggests that 86% of final impressions submitted to commercial labs have at least one critical error, and 55% of noted errors critically involve the finish line. Why that is so challenging is for us to create a restoration, we must see what we need to build to with that tool, the impression. As we are successful in being able to see the margin, being able to see the contours of the prep, we can actually create restorations that are clinically acceptable and will have longevity in the oral cavity. Analog impressions, however, are prone to inaccuracy. As important as they've been to us in our craft, they are full of potential error. They can provide inadequate margin details. We've seen this time and time again, depending on how the impression has been taken. If the material has set up properly or not, that can create challenge for us. Internal bubbles within the material translates to inaccuracies in the model phase. Margin tears can be common. Materials have come a long way in becoming more and more robust. However, just the functionality of removing that from the oral cavity can create tears. Drags and pulls are also common, especially if we see material not setting up correctly because there is a potential error caused by other materials being within the field of restoration. Poor tray choice can also cause negative results when taking an impression. If the tray does not fit correctly, the dentition might impede with that tray and full occlusion may not occur. Separation from the tray also results in error for us. As that happens upon removal, the tray might separate, and then that material might polymerize fully in an altered shape, and thereby creating an inaccuracy for us to work with. Shrinkage is an issue that not a lot of practitioners talk about within their impression material. However, every single impression material has a shrinkage rate, and it is dependent upon the brand. Not all practitioners utilize the same brand of impression material. Choice is good, choice is great. However, what it does for us on our side, having to adapt to multiple rates of shrinkage within impression material can cause variability in what we have to work with once we create a model. Carbon chain-based polymers, they are hydrophobic. And as such, they do not allow the water to flow away when an impression is being taken. When that happens, that can impede our ability to get a good view of the margin. That can impede our ability to create a good restoration to fit to a margin. And we'll talk about that a little bit more as the science that is applied to try and compensate for that has some other effects that aren't so tasty. Again, another question for you. What does the average full analog impression cost? Here's a assessment from Ultradent, considering the cost of time within a practice, which is a very high factor in what a dental practice needs to keep track of to be productive. They're quoting about $100 per impression. What we see from the Compendium of Continuing Education in Dentistry, somewhere between $18 and $35. That's not relying so much on the time period it takes in taking an impression. Clinicians report November 2020, they estimate between $17 and $130. Is it $50? Is it $20? Where does that average lie? You can look at your own practice and see. We definitely know it is not free. Hello? I got it. One of the greatest impressions, we'll go back. Traditional impression materials might be between $18 and $35. That's quoted from the Compendium of Continuing Education in Dentistry. What we see then in clinicians' report is $130 potentially, from $17 to $130. It might be in the range of $50. You check within your practice, you check within your expenditures and see what that average is. What we do know is that impression is not free. One of the greatest costs of the impression, the conventional analog impression, however, has nothing to do with the material cost, or the restorations. It actually has to do with your patient and patient discomfort. You might see through marketing efforts and through word of mouth how many patients are coming into your practice every month. That's a very important number to be keeping track of and hopefully increasing month after month. However, how many patients are indeed walking out the back door for one issue or another? I can tell you that patients are uncomfortable with a conventional impression. And why is that? It tastes awful. When we see that surfactants are added to overcome the hydrophobic nature of the material in order to get some wetting of the moisture in the mouth, those surfactants, they're soap. And soap, as we know, it tastes yucky, not yummy at all. Personally, I've had this experience being a rambunctious child. My mother helped share with me maybe a better way of speaking with her, and unfortunately, I did get the taste of soap a couple times. It doesn't taste good. Patients are not coming to your practice for the opportunity to have surfactants in the mouth. No, they want to return to your practice to get a smile again. And they would like to have it in the most comfortable way possible. Conventional impressions are not that way. Stretched lips and cheeks, when those trays are being inserted and removed, a lot happens in that area. It's very uncomfortable. Some people with very tight lips, you might hear them squealing and screeching. Even those impression trays, when they bump into a lip, patients walk out with bloody lips. That's not something that patients want to receive on a daily basis. It does elicit a gag reflex. I unfortunately am one of those who I hear when I'm in the chair, breathe through your nose, because they would like to not have an accident in that operatory. I get it. It's challenging for some patients. It's very uncomfortable. For me, I do appreciate whenever I can receive a digital impression. Patients leave feeling violated. It's a very intrusive experience getting dental restorations completed in the mouth. That feeling violated is because we're violating people's personal space in a nature which isn't very comfortable. Individuals don't want to feel violated. They avoid places where they feel violated. And so if we can accomplish a means of making this experience less so, then I think our patients will be much, much happier. Finally, patients feel quite irritated if retakes require a return visit. I can tell you, week after week, every week of the year, we have to call practices and ask for retakes, which we understand requires a patient to come back in that practice to have impressions again. Something they didn't really love the first time, we're having them go through that process again. Unfortunately for us, as we receive impressions that don't have a full data set, we can't fabricate off of a guess. If we are guessing, then what you receive back into the patient's mouth may not be a good fit. And so we have to uphold that standard of the best impressions possible. Now, the answer to all of this and the reason why we're here today is digital impressioning. I'd like to go and see what does Gordon Christensen say about digital impressioning. Let's hear.
What do you know about scanning for crown impressions and fixed prosthesis impressions? Some of you know quite a bit. Many of you know nothing. Is this in your future? I guarantee you it's in your future. Scanning of impressions is more accurate. It's more adequate as far as infection control. It actually fits better when the crowns are brought back to you than your typical elastomer impression. It's time to look into it.
It's time to look into it. Strong words. These come from, I believe it was 2016. His opinion has not changed since, only he's grown louder in proclaiming the need for digital impressions. I'd like to now turn the time over to Claude Berthoin and hear his ability to provide digital impressions with the newest technology, the Quick Scan iOS.
Good afternoon, doctors. My name is Claude Berthoin. I'm president and CEO of Denterprise International in sunny Ormond Beach, Florida. Happy holidays to all, and thank you so much for taking time off your very busy schedule to watch this webinar. We're happy to do this with Noel Lab out of California. They've been a great partner with us, and we put together a nice program, I believe, so that you jump on this new technology, intraoral direct scanners, I call them. And when I say new technology, it's actually, you'll see, been out since 1987. So it's nothing new. However, it's being accepted more and more, and we see an acceleration of acceptance in dental practice since 2017. Basically, intraoral direct scanners is a proven method now of taking impression versus your elastomer conventional impression. It took a while for Dr. Christensen to say that, but we've seen that in the CR reports I will be showing you. And usually when the guru says so, it is so. And at this point, it is clear that a lot of practice are jumping on the new technology. My presentation is divided into 6 sections. One is going to be a brief history to give you a background. The second one is going to be, the background of the company, and then a background of the technology itself, and then the benefits of this technology and the return on investment and why you should purchase a scanner today. And finally, why you should look into our scanner, which is top rated. Basically, Denterprise is a company that's been around 30 years. You also know us as Video Dental Concepts. We introduced the intraoral camera. We're the co-inventor of the intraoral camera. Over the years, we've partnered with many manufacturers from Europe, from Korea and China. We're a member of the Dental Trade Association, that is the Manufacturers Dental Association. You hear, of course, about AGD, ADA, etc. You may not know as much about DTA, and that's where all the big manufacturers association is. To give you an idea and background about the company, we do trade shows all over the world, and that's how we find products. This is snapshots of various meetings in Mexico, in Asia, at the Chicago Dental Society, New York, etc. These are the shows we have participated over the years, and I think I counted last, it was 352 shows. So they are all over the globe, mainly focused in Europe at the Mecca of Dentistry, which is Cologne, Germany. Also other shows in Sao Paulo, in Asia and China, etc. So that's what we do here. We are manufacturers, we're exclusive distributors, we're also incubators. So we've incubated companies that you've seen on the show floor. To name a few that are very popular today, Owandi, it's a French manufacturer of CT scanners. We've brought in Myre from Italy. For those that remember the Einstein wireless camera, RF system, and then all the others you see here. Our current partner for the portable X-ray is a company called Remedy right here. We also have other partners, and one very important one is Aptrix, which is our software solution for our X-ray sensors. Now, going to the scanner business, you'll be surprised to see that the scanners have been out actually since '87. The market was dominated by CEREC for many years, and that's why many of you do not know about the newer scanners, and because this patent actually lasted since 2011. So history was made in '87 twice. In fact, this is the same year that digital radiography was invented. And while you're all familiar with dental sensors, scanners came much late into play, and I just explained you why. It was a matter of a patent. So both were invented in '87. One was invented in France, and that's the radiovisiography, which we call digital radiography. Company called Trophy, which is now Carestream. Going to the scanners, we have to give it that to CEREC and Sirona. But again, these were exclusively sold by Patterson Dental. This slide shows the analogy a little bit. You know, we went from film to sensors. That's the lower part of this slide. And we're going from impression to direct scanners. That's the upper part of this slide. So very similar technology. Same birthday, as I said, however, different history. Part of the reason also was that the scanners, the original scanners, were extremely expensive. And CEREC was selling a complete solution with CAD software and a mill. So you had no choice really until 2011. This is just a slide to show you September '99 was the real day and acceptance of digital X-ray sensors. So it took some time for them to get accepted. There's 5 companies there listed. We are the one in yellow right here, and that's our quick ray sensor. So we've been involved in digital radiography also a long time. The reason I showed that is to show the different curves. On the left, you have digital X-ray sensor that started in '87, and you have this slowly curve going up, where in 17, pretty much 70% of all the dental practice had sensors. If you compare to the right, with the same birthday, it was in 17 that actually CR report Gordon Christensen said that about 10 to 15% of all the practices in US had scanners, intraoral direct scanners. So you saw how slow this evolution was. However, now the curve is much sharp and is showing that acceptance is a very high rate at the moment. Now, where are the scanners available? And you know all the popular ones, I'm sure, 3Shape, iTero, because you know about those vendors. They advertise a lot, there are trade shows, and your reps from Patterson, Henry Schein, basically show those to you. This is what currently Patterson is offering. So you'd say, wow, gee, there's only 5 scanners in the market. Well, the truth is there are 30 scanners on the market. So that's a big difference, okay? And again, the reason of that is because you only see what people are showing you. So unless you do your own little research or you belong to study groups or perhaps your lab shows you some new scanners, the reality is there are 30 scanners and they're made all over the world. Some that are available here. You probably heard about ours, hopefully QuickScan, but you also heard about Medit, and you also heard about, of course, the Planmeca one, the Huron from Denmark, now Straumann and some big companies in implants and so on have their own private label. And so basically, we'll be glad to send you this chart, but there are 30 different scanners from all over the world on the market today. We have a price range of about $15,000 all the way to $35,000. So that's the reality. So scanners available from many vendors and not solely from the dental supply houses. A new partner for you for scanners is your dental lab. Your loyal and well-informed and expert in digital lab, Noel Lab, is on top of things. I mean, they have the mills, they have the 3D printers, they have all that. They can teach you, they can service you, they can help you even do some of the printing in your office. But most importantly, if you purchase the scanner, they'll be there to provide service and support. So this is why our company, Denterprise, is selecting about 30 labs around the country that we will certify, put on a map, and these are the labs that we think are the best qualified to sell this type of technology. Facts about direct scanners and the benefits to you. Why should you buy one? Many reasons. Number one, the desktop scanner, you may have one of those, or your lab does, scans the impression. Well, that's kind of cool. That's sort of like what I call the PSP of digital radiography for digital lab. You know, you want to film. Some people prefer to use the plates because it was a similar flow. And but at the end of the day, you're scanning something, so you're losing data. The same is true with the desktop scanner. No matter how accurate they are, they're going to lose some data. So direct scanning is a scanner that goes in the mouth, like your intraoral camera. It's a fancy 3D intraoral camera, and we'll take that data and in the most accurate way. To follow the technology and the acceptance, there's nothing better than showing you the report from CR. This is the April 2017, and Gordon Christensen, Dr. Gordon, already talks about the lab, more and more taking the STL files, accepting them, and this is now 3 years ago, and it's already grown since. Okay, so this is the best report for that. I welcome that you get the report rather than going through it, but basically it shows you the reason, it shows you those that are using are very happy with it. In fact, we find ourselves that most people have a scanner, not only have one, but they have 2 or 3. So usually doctors buy more than one scanner once they embrace the technology. Back on the report of 2020, the most recent in October, you can see that the use has increased, and the report shows 15%. We actually think it's near like 20%, simply because most doctors that bought a scanner have bought a second or third one. And we, like I said earlier, there's multiple vendors now, price range of 15K to 35K. So you have introductory scanners around 15. And that's what we offer. We offer 2 scanners, the QuickScan iOS, which I'm featuring in this presentation, and the QuickScan Wow, which was actually featured in the report. Yay, no more goop. I mean, that's the big thing that the practice are starting to enjoy and realize. And I think the resistance was, beside the price, beside the few vendors, was a doubt. You know, is this as accurate than the polymer, elastomer, conventional impressions? So that took a while to be accepted until the report came out and said absolutely, and it is in some kind better than a regular impression. So are scanners really expensive? Yes, they were. They were. I mean, if you only bought the Patterson solution, I think it was near $100,000 to get the scanner, the milling machine, and the software. Today, you can purchase all these a la carte. You can buy a scanner from us. You can buy software from Exocad, for example, and you can buy your own 3D printers and milling machines. So your lab can help you with that, or you simply send the file to the lab and you partner with them. So how much is an impression, and how much am I really saving when I buy scanners? So let's compare that. Typically, the cost of an impression in the CR reports is up to $100. Okay, all depends how you factor chair time, and that seems like a high figure, and probably is. However, there are things you can't deny, and that is the material is about $7. And then you have your chair time. You know, no matter what chair time, how you compute it, that is the time a chair that is occupied by a patient, which, if it wasn't occupied by a patient, would be available for a new procedure. And so if you factor all this, it varies greatly. You know, in Florida, mostly Georgia, $2 a minute is about what we compute. If you go to California, New York, and other areas, it's going to be much higher. So then how much time is that chair occupied when you do conventional impression, and how much time is occupied when you do a digital scan? And that's what you would gain. Both take some time. However, scanning is a lot faster. Okay, so when you're beginning with scanners, there's always a little bit of a struggle. I mean, usually you don't scan, your assistant staff scans, but it will take about 3 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. Whereas actually, when you do a regular impression, it's much more. Okay, my example here, and you can argue it, and that's fine, is that you know, you can save about $32 per impression using a scanner. So there you go. That's $12,288 per year if you do about 32 impressions a month. That's a lot of money. This chart might be a little bit better. Analog will do about 18 minutes of chair time. Digital is about half, 9 minutes. So cost of chair time is half. You got your impression material, you got your shipping, which let's not forget, shipping is actually also $7. This is misaligned, no big deal. And it gives you a total of 50 on one side and 18 on the other, which is the $32 saving I was just talking to. Okay, so again, taking that back, material $7, $36 chair time on analog, $7 shipping, 50 total on the right. 0 of the material, less than 9 minutes, so chair time by half, and then no shipping. And so there you go. The saving is obvious, and when you equate that to $32 saving, even if you say $20 saving and you do 32 impression, it's still $640, doctors, and your rental, your lease is going to be in the 300s. So can you buy a scanner? Yeah, you can buy 2. So, I mean, you know, this is not expensive. So my conclusion is that they seem expensive, but they're actually very inexpensive when you see the benefits of it over time. And my best example is your digital X-ray sensor. We've been involved in sensors since '91. I was the second sensor in the United States. People used to tell me, gee whiz, sensor $9,000. And I say, yes, but you do 100,000 X-rays with that. Okay, so same analogy. It was well documented by the ADA and CRA at the time that it was about $1 per film. That was your cost of taking one X-ray. So if you think back, a sensor should cost $100,000, right? No, it's only costing $9,000. So again, it's all perception. Price tags mean nothing. It's what do you do with that price tag? When you buy that nice Mercedes-Benz for $50,000, are you buying a car for one day or are you buying it for 10 years? Okay, or you could rent the Mercedes-Benz for $300 a day also. So my example is that don't look at price tags, look at the evaluation and use of that device over time and compare it to what you do now. Right now, if you do typical conventional impression, you are leasing $50 a day of material and chair time. You're on a constant rental if you want. Or if you buy the scanner, now you own it and now you use it. So you will have the benefits of many scans, and with proper warranty and the proper support service from Noel, you will have good use of that scanner and savings over time. So it is cheaper than impression, and that's why I can't emphasize enough that you should jump on that technology. So when I say here they cost as much as free, well, obviously they're not totally free, but they can be. Labs like Noel will sponsor the scanner in some ways. I mean, you're gonna have to pay them a fee, a monthly fee, whatever. They have a great financing, which Zach will show you at the end of this presentation. Superb offering, and they hold your hand all the way. So, I mean, you have a coach that comes with it. And if you give so much units per month, they will reimburse you part of your lab bill. That it actually could be free. So that's the thing. So not only do you save money by buying one, even if you had no service from Noel, but if you have the service from Noel to boot, you get that, and you get the coaching, the training of your staff, and you get pretty much up to a free scanner. So going on that, who's the best trainer? Who's the best vendor? I totally believe that the labs are the best vendors because they're the most knowledgeable compared to reps from various supply houses, and they talk your language. You talk to them every day. You send them cases. You know your lab, and your lab can be your best partner and coach for this. Not only that, you're able to share a case right away. You know, in conventional way, you got to box the impression, send it. On this case, you scan. You can call back your lab and say, "You get my file?" "Yes, I did." "Okay, well, you know, I see the margins here could be better, blah, blah, redo this, whatever." Or actually say, "This is perfect. I'm going to work on it right now," and so on. So you have immediate feedback, is what I'm saying, from your lab, okay, which you can't do being analog. Your patient, the perception of that patient is also, you have the best technologies. They don't have all this stuff in the mouth. If you messed up the impression, your staff has to redo it, more chair time. I mean, the benefits are so obvious that I can't advise you to purchase a scanner enough. Now, as far as buying from who you buy this from, again, the labs. If you want to buy from your dealer, Patterson, Shine, and Benco, etc., they're all great, but they get paid, and they get paid a lot of money for what they do. And so today, you can purchase online. You can, what you really need is somebody to come in and show you how to do things, and that's why we think the lab is the best. I'd rather offer excellent pricing and provide the service, and that's what Denterprise has been doing all along. So are there advantages here of teaming up with your lab? Better quality, fewer retakes, less chair time, faster delivery, real-time communication. I think we pretty much covered that. Summary of scanning: they cost less, they save time, additional savings as well, because actually you have an excess saving between the $600 you save and $300 on the scanner. You have enough money to buy a 3D printer or whatever else you want to do. So you can evaluate the scan and talk to the patient and show them the scan. So what's the takeaway, right? I mean, you save time, you save money, and perhaps simply you didn't have all the information to motivate you to do this. And I hope that's what I'm trying to give right now. Now let's look at what the scanners are available. Which one should you buy, okay? From the 30, I selected about 10 here. You have the our Denterprise Quick Scan, the Medit, the Dentsply Sirona, which is the the benchmark really. Then came the 3Shape, 3M, Strawman, iTero, which is quite popular because Invisalign, Planmeca, and Carestream. Okay, so you go, where do I go? Well, about half of these are sold by dealers. So if I'm a buyer right now, that's 40% margin you're paying, okay? If you really want to go that way, you're paying 40% when you buy through a dealer, and even if you negotiate, you might go down to 30%. So unless those are the only utmost highest quality scanners, that's what you want, buy it. But there are choices out there and much less expensive scanners sold directly to you or through a lab, okay? And QuickScan is one of them. They vary in size and shape. That's the technology, okay? So if you want to go deeper than the price tag and the vendor, of course, you should focus on the scanner itself and how it performs, what is it made of, what's the warranty, etc. So those are the different technology available: are video, laser, stereo photogrammetry. That means 2 cameras. That's the WOW that we sell. Other digital equipment, etc. So you will see the differences next. And this is why you should buy our scanner. We think we're the most competitive right now in terms of value. Okay, nothing is perfect in life, but if you buy QuickScan, you're going to pay around $16,000 for the scanner hardware, and then whatever plan that Noel will offer to you, which sometimes is near that over time, but you're going to be saving a lot in frustration, and also in the added service is very, very good. So all scanners have an accuracy of under 20 micron. The traditional impression is 200 microns. So again, any scanner is going to be good enough for you. The Denterprise, we do on the quick scan, we do a full arch. It's full color. There's no powder like the early scanners. Here we're more focused on our scanner, Medit, Carestream, Trios, and a traditional impression. You see here on the traditional impression that actually it is 200 micron, and our scanner is about 19 micron. So anything in that area is good enough and better than what you're doing now. Okay, I'll be glad to send the PowerPoint to anybody requesting it. So there's a lot of stuff on that chart. I just really don't have the time to go over it. But what's in yellow or here or green is actually advantages of our scanner compared to other scanners on the market. Other advantage of our scanner, it is modular, so you can buy a base and transfer the handpiece from room to room. They're available in a laptop configuration. They're available on a cart configuration. So those are add-ons, but we do have those options. This is very important. It's similar to when you bought your first intraoral camera and you were comparing, let's see now, the InACCURACY with the dentoscope or whatever, with our oral video scope, etc. What's in my hand? How does it feel? What's the field of view? What's the angle of view, etc. How big is the head, etc. So this is a direct comparison of the quick scan with 3Shape, Carestream, and Sirona. And as you can see, actually, the most ergonomic is actually quick scan. Next one will be how you hold the thing. You know, what's the best way to use the scanner? And some like the pen grip, some like the palm grip, some like the gun grip. The gun grip is unique to 3Shape. However, I find it awkward, but I've seen some demos by trained ladies at 3Shape and they amaze me. So, you know, it's just a matter of learning. But the pen grip on the right and the palm grip are the most popular. Quick scan will allow you to do both. The way it's designed, you can use a palm or quick grip. So we believe that quick scan has some advantage over the others as it allows you to do those two grips. Here's a second chart of the intraoral scanner comparison. This one has to do with the size of the handpiece. And as you can see, there's great variation here. The least ergonomic for sure is the iTero. It's also the most sold. So that's where the marketing and the pushing of those companies sometimes dominate the market, whereas a better scanner doesn't get the same, chance to be sold. And so we've seen this in digital radiography with DEXIS and other, it's so advertised, it's so there that people buy that, you're blindfolded, where there are actually sensors out there that are better or cheaper. So the same is true with scanners. Don't go with just all this, hoopla or whatever of the vendors and all this marketing. Test them, get a trial, and see for yourself. And I'll show you that our Quick Scan OS is just as good or better than the other one on this picture, and for half the price. So, in conclusion, I would say get a couple scanners in your office, use the lab, and the lab will advise you, and they usually are unbiased, and they have tried all the scanners or whatever, and they can help you purchase that very first scanner. And that's what you're looking for. You're not going to have that scanner forever, just like your first intraoral camera. You had many, or your sensors. I would say go in for 15, 16K instead of going in for 30K. That's for sure a good decision. And then grow from there. And if that scanner was good enough for you, buy another one. So in conclusion, they improve patients' experience. That's something that's been discussed. They improve the quality. They simplify the workflow. You can evaluate directly with the lab, the accuracy and take another scan if needed. They're cheaper, and a happy patient, a happy lab, and a happy doctor. That's what we want to see with Quick Scan iOS. And I'm happy to turn back the microphone to Zach and have him present the offering to you. Thank you for listening. Look forward to talk to you at trade shows. Feel free to reach me on Dental Town, and look forward to talk to you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Claude. I appreciate you sharing all that great information. What we surmise from this is, indeed, digital impressions are the way to move forward into the future. It is the answer to the analog impression. And when you consider how to obtain a great digital impression unit, it is critical who you partner with. When we see many, many options in the market today, Claude went and covered some of those options. Support does not come the same way from all organizations. The most important partner you can have with the digital impression unit is your laboratory. We have seen thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of impressions come through our practice, and many, many, many digital impressions come through our practice. We have taken the time, the effort, and the resources to vet digital impression units. And what we have found is the Quick Scan iOS scanner really does what you want it to do from a practitioner's point of view and from the point of view of a patient of being able to receive a digital impression. Most importantly for us, we in the lab receive a fantastic digital impression through the Quick Scan iOS. As we can help practices utilize that, they can be successful in getting the best impression to us or their lab, whoever they so choose. But what is critical in that process is a proper training, and a proper training paradigm and protocol is critical. Some manufacturers of perfectly fine digital impression units in the market today will ship that product out and provide you some videos. I can attest to the fact that those units are actually sitting on the doctor's shelves now. We've gone into those practices and actually helped train those practices to use those digital impression scanners. We know that to be successful, you must have a comprehensive and a completely supportive training paradigm, training protocol, and not just for 1 or 2 days at a time, but for going on and on into the future. And that's what we've created with Noel Laboratories. Our offering is a fantastic offering. Let's consider that. The answer to your analog woes, the program that Noel Lab is offering is to obtain a quick scan iOS for only $25,000, $24,999 to be precise, which purchased this year will qualify for Section 179. Unfortunately, we believe that that will not be available next year as a tax vehicle. So let's apply that as soon as we can this year. There will be no monthly fees. Some of the other impression units we know have fees that are in the hundreds of dollars, $200, $300, $400 per month range on just the fees, aside from the monthly payment. Now, speaking of monthly payment, our monthly payment is $417 a month, but that's a 0% interest payment. We also provide with that a 6-month no payment program where you get to skip payments for 6 months. During your entire first 6 months, you'll be recouping the costs of those impression materials, but you will also be able to utilize this unit for quality digital impressions, and your payment won't start until well after your learning curve. This includes full on-site 2 days of training and ongoing support and training as needed. The value of that is $3,500. Truly money well spent. In reality, every dollar of training that you pay for and then get the value returned to you is probably a 2 or 3 to 1 factor above and beyond just the cost of the unit itself. The impact is very, very great because if you purchase a unit and it sits on your shelf, it's not doing you much of anything. There's not a lot of value there. So we commit to making sure that you'll be able to utilize this unit far into the future, but right off the bat, where you'll be able to recoup your investment. If you do perform to what is required in our training program, you will receive actually $1,000 credit back to you. Now, that training protocol is simply utilizing that scanner a certain number of times within the first 20 days and making sure that we can dial in that scanner by considering the digital impressions and also comparing that to printed models. So we have this paradigm completely worked out, this whole program worked out, and any office, any practitioner, any assistant can fulfill with the requirements of that training program. We want to give everybody $1,000 rebate check back to them because they've completed the training successfully. Why are we so excited to give that $1,000 back to you? We know that as you go through that training program, you'll be able to use this unit very effectively, and you'll be very pleased and happy with your purchase. Now, we have even better information than that. We've got a better program, and that program is called the Partner Plus program. This program actually allows for an offsetting of the monthly cost of the unit. When you partner with Noel Laboratories and send cases to Noel Laboratories, we will actually credit your account so much per the number of units that you do. If you're going to do 100 units with Noel Laboratories or more, we will credit you back the entire monthly cost of that unit. If you do 50 units, your credit will be $209, $105 for 25 units, and $52 for 13 units. Now, what's interesting to note is, let's say that you're doing impressions and it costs only $25 is what you assess your impressions cost you, not $50, but $25, and you're doing 13 units a month. In reality, the real cost of that unit, because you're sending 13 units a month that we can credit you on for $52, is less than the cost of a cup of coffee per day. Less than $3 a day is the cost of that unit to you and your practice. If you send any more units than that, then by all means, you're going to be ahead and in the black. But don't forget, the real winner in all of this is your patient. They will be happier by receiving a quality digital impression, not having to go through the experience of a conventional analog impression. Your lab will be happier by receiving digital impressions. I know we'll be happier. And when this is all done, you will find that your patient's happiness will cause more and more patients to stick around and tell their friends about your practice. We're excited about this program. We're excited to be working with you. And if you would love to have a hands-on demonstration, feel free to give us a call. Our number is 1-800-575-4442. You can email us at info@noellabs.com. My cell phone is actually 805-748-2613. Look us up online. You can sign up for our portal, and we will show you exactly how easy it can be with a digital impressioning unit right in your office for a live demonstration. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to partnering with you.
Thank you very much.